Sarah, and Vinny on Alice at 97.3.
All right, everyone.
All right, Goodman.
Here is your review of the 8th or the 9th King Kong movie.
Which one is it?
Kong Skull Island. This film stars Sam Jackson, Brie Larson, John C. Reilly, John Goodman, and Taylor Swift's ex, Tom Hiddleston.
That's an all-star cast.
It is an all-star.
I'll bet this is a great movie.
So in this film, a group of soldiers who desperately want to get home after the Vietnam War are asked to do one final mission: explore an uncharted island in the Pacific known as Skull Island, the domain of monsters and the mythic King Kong. Brandon, this is the 8th King Kong movie. First of all, how does it compare to Peter Jackson's 2005 remake of the 1933 original?
The one with Jack Black,
Which
right?
is my favorite King Kong movie.
So I did
love that
research
movie.
and watched that whole thing, 3-hour-long movie. I feel the storyline for that movie was more believable and slightly more realistic, but the special effects for this movie is second to none. Really good. The newer version seemed like a roided out King Kong.
So let's quickly talk about that. So the original King Kong and the Peter Jackson, that's a love story. You know, the ape falls in love with a girl.
Naomi Watts.
Yeah, Naomi Watts. Is this new one a love story?
No.
Oh.
Not at all.
Oh, I figured that was why Brie Larson was in it.
Yeah, that's what I
Why
thought
else
too.
would she be coming home from Vietnam?
I leaned over to Bryn at least half a dozen times and said, "That's going to be Kong's love interest." That didn't happen at all. Well, I mean, not really, and not like in the past.
Right.
But if he doesn't fall in love with the girl, how are we ever going to be on his side?
Well, that's good. That's a good question. They do completely change the plot, and Kong.
It's a lot different,
Yeah, Kong isn't like the bad guy. The bad guy's Sam Jackson. But I don't want to give away too much. Bryn, let's talk about Tom Hiddleston. Could you remind us of his speech from the Golden Globes real quick?
A quick story. I know it's been a long night. I recently went to South Sudan with the United Nations Children's Fund. There's a terrible situation happening for children, and they were a group of Médecins Sans Frontières, doctors and nurses, and they wanted to say hello because during the shelling the previous month they had binge-watched The Night Manager. The idea that I could provide, or that we could provide some relief and entertainment for the people who work for UNICEF and Médecins Sans Frontières and the World Food Programme, who are fixing the world in the places where it is broken, made me immensely proud. So I dedicate this to those out there who are doing their best. Thank you.
Tom saving the world.
Thank you. Or entertaining the people.
Entertaining the world.
Yeah. And he can't just say medicine without frontiers. He's got to say Maison Sans Frontières.
Yeah. I mean, what an accent. My goodness.
He's amazing.
What's he? Is he English? What is he?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, isn't he Prince Harry's best friend or
Who
something?
knows? He's just a...
Well, we all know him as Taylor's ex.
Loki.
Yeah, Loki. Bryn, that guy right there that we just heard, who's literally saving the entire world.
Humble brag.
Yeah, that
So
guy.
incredibly full of himself. Hello.
They binge watched and forgot about the shelling and the fact that everyone's dying around them.
Right. I'm so glad I could bring that to them.
Bryn, what do you think of dashing leading men like Paul Newman or Robert Redford or Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio? Those are all guys you really buy into. And Tom Hiddleston is supposed to be the dashing leading man of this film. Is he badass enough? Was he amazing in this film? Was he dashing enough?
Badass, not so much. I mean, he's cool. He's a cool figure, and I know Sarah's into him. And as far as I know, Loki to me was like, it's kind of weird looking. But in this movie, I could see why Taylor Swift was like, oh, you're kind of hot. Hey. So yeah, I mean, he played it well. I thought. Human, maybe you disagree.
Well, I just don't know if he's dashing enough, but you know, maybe
he was good looking.
Maybe dating Taylor Swift, raised his cachet and being in all the Avengers movies.
If
I was to say the name Tianjing, what comes to mind?
The Matt Damon ponytail movie with the man bun.
That's right. Why is she in King Kong again?
Is it because her boyfriend or husband runs the production company for China?
I think you're right. How many lines did she have in Skull Island?
Oh, she had a lot more than I expected. I'm very proud of her.
She had 4 lines. Anyway, you'll see if you saw the
my cousin.
Oh, is she your cousin? If you saw the Man Bun movie, you can look forward to seeing her again.
Nobody saw the Man Bun.
Right.
So, Bryn, we saw Skull Island in IMAX 3D. How was that?
I would say if you have the opportunity to watch in IMAX 3D, you should. But that's because I love IMAX 3D. So I'll have more of that in my sum it up.
Yeah, me too. Bryn, so let's talk about King Kong. How was the CGI?
I thought it was great.
Well, I mean, like, compare him to the because the Peter Jackson, you're like, okay, this is just an oversized ape. But when you looked at this King Kong, what came to mind?
The special effects were amazing, and he was super aggressive.
Yeah, but it looked like a dude in a monkey suit, right? He was
Absolutely,
just standing up straight.
The older ones, the older ones, he looked more like a gorilla. This one, he was like a dude in a monkey suit.
Yeah.
He was doing crazy stuff in this movie, where like he was using brass knuckles and like some crazy Jackie Chan moves.
Brass knuckles?
Yeah.
Who made the gigantic brass
He was
knuckles?
like a MacGyver of monkeys.
Yeah, it was crazy.
He'd make some crazy weapons out of like trees and stuff.
And of
Very
like
creative.
ships that had crashed there. He was able to configure like a ball and chain.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
One of the
sir.
things that's always bothered me about King Kong movies is that the scale of the monster changes constantly. Like at the, in the beginning of the Peter Jackson one, he can hold this woman in his hand, right?
Yeah.
He's enormous.
Right.
Like he's 100 stories tall. And then by the end, he's sitting next to her and he just seems like a big ape next to her with their, scooting along on their butts on the ice.
Right.
Like the scale changes too much. Like you think this thing, you're looking at how big it is and you're like, there's no ship that they could put him on to get him to New York City where
Right.
they're going to do the stage show with him.
Continuity.
Like, it's weird how that
Yes.
changes.
So-
Does that happen to this? Because I'm telling you, in the trailer, he looks. I mean, these helicopters he's swatting down look like mosquitoes next to him.
Yeah. So here, let me answer that. That the scale is consistent because there's no love story and there's no need for him to be reduced.
They don't
in
put him
size.
on the boat and take him back somewhere.
Yeah, none of the
Let's not
boat,
give
no
any
bringing
of
him
that
back to
away.
New York.
Well,
It's a completely different plot this time. Sam,
But yeah, it's consistent. I would say it's consistent, and
Yeah.
he's massive in this
he's
movie.
massive.
How
I mean,
big? How big is he?
He's bigger than we've ever seen him.
Yeah, he's huge.
Like Godzilla size.
The whole time.
Yeah, he's Godzilla size,
Godzilla
yeah.
size. Yeah, totally.
Bryn, there's a moment that takes place in
My hood.
your hood, Saigon, where everyone's
your hood?
speaking Vietnamese.
I thought you were talking about Milbrae.
Or
Talking about
Bayview.
Florida.
The Tenderloin.
Talking about the outer sunset.
Two questions. How did Vietnam, like, were they accurate with the look of Vietnam?
I thought they were accurate with the look, except for like 100 times less motorcycles and scooters.
Right.
But-
And then, should there have been subtitles? I mean, thank God you were there to translate everything for me. I kept saying, what'd they say? What'd they say? But should there have been subtitles?
Personally, because it's like second nature, I understood every single word they were saying. I do feel that the acting was good enough where they portrayed exactly what they felt, like they were mad. And it wasn't that like significant what they were saying. It was just
You just
saying
got that they were mad.
They were pissed off,
Well,
and everything I said to him was cuss words. They just said that. They just said, "Hey, you mother bleeper."
I appreciate you translating for me.
You're welcome.
Sum it all up,
You're
let me just say
welcome.
this.
You're welcome.
For the most part, the new take on King Kong is good, and I like it. If you want overstimulation, go 3D IMAX all the way. It is fun and mindless, and Sarah, I highly recommend it. I'm going to give it 3.5 purrs.
The sheer power of this beast was incredible. It was more like a gorilla with superpowers. I felt like he was King Kong on steroids, and he was over the top badass. If you have a chance, I agree with Human 3D IMAX is amazing, and I love it. 3.25 Vietnamese ninja stars.
Can you take hits?
That's a little
Well,
bit.
how old exactly?
I don't
10.
know, 10.
There's
yeah.
a lot
10?
of killing. Let's say that.
Bryn,
There's-
you're arguably one of the best fathers
Oh,
in the
come on, I'll
country.
take my
Would
kid.
you take your 10-year-old?
Well, his kid's
Yeah, my
16.
No, I'd take my 10-year-old kid.
All right.
You would.
That's.
Yeah, but
I don't know if
you know.
that's good parenting, but
I don't know either. But there's a lot of gory murdering.
A lot of gory
A
murdering.
lot of gore.
And stomping on people.
Like people are
and stuff
getting eaten left and right.
Left
You're getting
and
eaten
right.
left
He
and
eats
right.
people?
No, there's these weird
There's
lizard.
there's also dinosaurs
Well,
on
hold
this
on.
island.
No,
Takes
there's-
bites out of crime.
There's a new kind of Middle Earth lizard dinosaur that
fantastic.
emerges.
I'm going. That's it. I'm going now.
Seems great. You gonna take your little kids to it?
I'll take the 10-year-old.
Anyway, these lizard creatures have football helmets, so it's crazy. You'll see what we mean.
Football helmets and brass knuckles. So we're supposed to buy all this.
Fun, easy, shallow watch.
All right, I like that. I like to just be
Next week,
entertained.
everyone.
Yes.
The not anticipated Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, people are anticipating it. I was right up until I saw it.
Did you like it?
I did like it. It was fine. It's I'll save it for my movie review next week, I guess.